Magandang araw mga ka-DIYers. Kumusta kayong lahat? I hope nasa mabuti kayong kalagayan. And once again, this is your Kuya Nikki, and this is your Diskarteng DIY. Our second episode for our Diskarteng DIY, ang swerte po natin ngayon kasi nga may bisita tayo. And he is also a student na naging PR. And now he is a licensed immigration consultant here in Canada. And siya po ay isa sa mga haligi ng student to PR path. And tulad din namin, naging PR po sila in less than 2 years time. And hindi ko na po mabilang kung ilan yung natulungan niya. Especially pa lang dun sa mga kakilala ko na nagpa-process ng student to PR. At the same time, yung may mga problems sa visa nila, yung about sa tourist, and then yung mga malapit na madideport, natutulungan niya. And mas maganda kasing magtanong tayo sa the right person. And I know, tulad din ninyo, marami akong pinapanood na videos, dinijoin na forum, and may kanya-kanya kasi tayong cases and situation. For them, pwede maging apply, I mean, it can apply to them, but it doesn't mean na it will also apply to us. So once again, just for us, our Diskarteng DIY, kami mismo is we go directly to the right person. And one of them is Kuya Mikmik, and since he is the licensed immigration consultant, he has the rights to talk about the process legally. And we're so lucky to have him. Hindi na natin patatagalin. Let's all welcome our resident licensed immigration consultant, Mr. Michael Corrales, also known as Kuya Mikmik.
Thank you for that very nice introduction, Kuya Nikki. For this episode kasi, we're focusing on DIY. DIY is a very fulfilling task na once you submitted it by yourself and you got approved, it's very rewarding. But also at the same time, it involves a lot of research. It's very risky if you just watch videos and blogs, read on forums, but you do not filter kung ano yung mga information na appropriate sa inyo. So the goal of this video is we have a simplified guide on how to do your DIY. So for Diskarteng DIY Episode 2, ang topic natin is paano ba mag-DIY ng study permit ng Canada. If you recall on the first episode, Kuya Nikki discussed sino ba dapat if you're a couple ang dapat mag-aral. So in this situation now, after you nag-decide kung if you would be the wife or the husband na mag-aaral, then you have to proceed with the next steps kung how would you actually apply for the study permit ng Canada. So maraming information available online and sometimes it's very overwhelming, especially sa mga nagsisimula pa lang to understand how to do the DIY process. We will be simplifying the steps into 4 steps para it will be more comprehensive and it's easier to follow. Step 1. Read the CIC website regarding study permit process. Para sa mga magdi-DIY, the CIC website will be your best friend kasi nandun lahat ng information na kakailanganin ninyo. So, while you're reading the website, you also have to consider yung timeline ninyo. Kailan ba kayo papasok? Kung papasok ba kayo sa fall intake, winter, or sa summer intake? And you can see in the bullet points, pag yung regular processing kayo, regular stream, it's 8 to 10 weeks on average. Tapos kung student direct stream kayo, it's usually 20 calendar days. Step 2, choosing your program and your school. So pagpipili na kayo ng school, we've written down certain factors that could affect your decision. Number 1 is of course program cost. Pasok ba sa budget ninyo yung program and yung school na target ninyo? Usually, mga cost of tuition fee is, let's say, on average around 10,000 to 17,000 a year for colleges, and it could go higher for universities. Program availability and competitiveness. This is our second point. Availability is available ba for international students yung program ninyo na nagustuhan? Kasi may mga programs na exclusive for PR and citizens lang. Competitiveness is yun bang program na nagustuhan ninyo is merong maintaining grade na kailangan nyo ma-achieve before you graduate or limited slots lang siya. Personally, my first choice of school before, they were only taking 25 students. I was number 26, so I had to go with my second choice of program and school. Our third point is location. So sa location naman, kung meron kayong kamag-anak or kaibigan na pwede kayong i-accommodate para libre yung rent nyo, that's a big factor na would reduce your cost of living. So you also could base your decision on that one, which is normal for international students. You could also do your research on the living condition sa province na yon. Is it more snow, less snow? Is it colder? Is it warmer? So you could also do your research on that one and which one would fit your lifestyle. And then on number 4, job prospects. So sa job prospects naman, dalawang bagay yung titignan ninyo. Una is marami bang part-time jobs sa area na mag-aaral kayo. And afterwards, looking forward naman is pag-graduate ninyo, marami din bang trabaho na related dun sa program ninyo. It doesn't, for your PR purposes, your skill job for CEC doesn't have to be related to the program of your study. Pero it's also good to know if yung program na aaralin nyo is actually malaki din yung chance na ma-employ kayo. And the last item is English level requirements. Some schools, mahigpit sila sa English requirement na i-require kayo ng IELTS, for example. Ibang schools naman, ang hihingin lang sa inyo is proof na yung instructions ninyo nung kayo ay nag-aaral, yung medium of instruction was English. So if you're having problems, for example, sa English level requirements, do not hesitate to ask Kuya Nikki. For those of you who don't know, si Kuya Nikki is actually an international education agent. So he's tied up with schools and he could help you and advise you on picking the right program and school appropriate for you, your background, and your situation. Step 3, secure a letter of acceptance. So, nabasa na niya yung CIC website, nakapili na kayo ng program, nakapili na kayo ng school that offers that program. The next step is to secure a letter of acceptance from that school. So, either you communicate directly with the school or humingi kayo ng assistance from an international education agent tulad ni Kuya Nikki, whichever is more comfortable for you. Just a reminder, dun sa letter of acceptance is a document that you will attach dun sa study permit application ninyo to show proof na meron nang tumanggap sa inyo na school. Just a reminder, dun sa letter of acceptance, you have to check na yung school na napili ninyo is a designated learning institution. So you always check the CIC website to see the DLI list and you have to see na yung school na napili nyo nandoon. Also, as a reminder, hindi lahat ng DLI institution ay eligible for PGWP yung program nila after graduation. That's why meron tayo ng second bullet, PGWP eligibility after graduation. You have to check, first is DLI ba yung school? And second, dun sa chart nila is if eligible ba yung school na yon na magkaroon ng PGWP yung student after finishing the program. The third one is secure your spot and always read the details of your LOA. Kasi may instances na nakasulat sa LOA if required pa ba kayo mag-exam or do they require you a deposit na you have to pay at a certain time, otherwise magiging null and void na yung LOA ninyo. Or sometimes nagre-require din sila ng first semester payment. So you have to Read everything that is written on your letter of acceptance and understand the conditions that it comes with. Step 4, apply for study permit. So once na secure nyo na yung letter of acceptance ninyo, now it's the time to apply for your study permit. So ito yung mga bullets na nakita nyo dito. This is the typical requirements when you're applying for a study permit. So number 1 is yung letter of acceptance na nanggaling sa DLI school na napili ninyo at tumanggap sa inyo. Next is medical. People residing in the Philippines applying for a study permit, hinihingan sila ng medical. Biometrics, you would be asked for biometrics if it's the first time na you're applying for any type of visa in Canada. That's the new requirement now, the biometrics. Next is police clearance. Sa atin, if you only stayed in the Philippines, then ang kailangan mo lang is yung NBI. But if you stayed in other countries cumulatively for 180 days, then chances are hihingan din kayo ng police clearance from that country. So this applies for yung mga OFW natin. Next one is make sure you have a valid passport. Take note na ang validity ng study permit na ibibigay sa inyo is hindi pwedeng lumagpas sa validity ng passport ninyo. So if you are taking a 2-year program, make sure na at least valid pa ng 2 years yung passport ninyo. Otherwise, if let's say you're taking a 2-year program pero yung passport nyo is only 1.5 years valid na lang, yung study permit na ibibigay sa inyo is 1.5 years lang. And then you'll go through the trouble of renewing your passports abroad and then extending your study permit. So before you actually apply for your study permit, check na din yung validity ng passport ninyo. Next is the meat of the process. You create the student profile application sa CIC website. So there will be a questionnaire there na after you answer, it will generate the forms that you will fill up. That's the next bullet. And then also have a digital photo ready. This is the sizing would be based on the Canadian visa specs. And then proof of funds is, of course, you have to show proof that you are capable of financing your studies. Ideally, it's a 1-year tuition fee and then 10,000 Canadian dollars. So that's typically your living allowances for a year. Best is if it's your own proof of funds or if you have somebody sponsoring your studies, you have to show proof or via form of a letter from your sponsor that they're willing to support your studies. So the last item that we will highlight is yung letter of explanation or more popularly known as SOP sa Facebook group natin. Yung letter of explanation is a very powerful document na could actually explain kung it typically answers 4 questions. I posted this half a decade ago and it's still being used now. Is why do you want to study in Canada? Why did you pick that program? Why did you pick the school? And what's your plan after graduation? So I posted this more than half a decade ago, and until now, it still proves to be a good guide, kumbaga, sa paano nyo i-compose yung SOP ninyo.
Maraming salamat, Kuya Mikmik, for this timely topic that you have discussed. Once again, we're very privileged enough. And for sure, marami tayong matutulungan ng mga DIYers, lalo naman sa mga nagbabalak palang mag-apply and sa mga nag-apply ngayon to have them a guidance for the process. And just to give you a summary for what I've discussed the Kuya Mikmik, let's just summarize it. First step is read the CAC website. Second step will be choosing your program and your school. Third is secure a letter of acceptance. And lastly, apply for study permit. And just a reminder to make sure na nabayaran nyo yung student visa nyo at the end of your application. Kasi yun po yung confirmation na nakapag-submit kayo once nabayaran nyo yung submission ng application nyo sa CIC website. So once again, I hope na marami kayong natutunan today for our Diskarteng DIY. And let's watch out for our next episode. And don't forget to subscribe, share, and like our YouTube channel.